I'm thinking about where humanity came from. As you do, I'm wondering how it could be possible that humans exist, what needed to happen, and how did everything come into existence? Why do we have an Earth, for example, and the Sun? Where do these things come from? And how did we have construct humanity when you need a man and a woman to produce a child? And so the beginning just seems to be completely mysterious. And it seems that we'll never know how we came to be. We can only construct plausible theories. We can't ever know the truth. And it's strange that truth can never be known. We can't know where humanity came from. We can only construct theories of where humanity might have come from and seems to have come from. And that's very frustrating. And we can never know. And I'm wondering why there was life anyway. What was the point of life? It seems very arbitrary and very pointless. And maybe there is a point and I just don't know what it is. But my sense is that it's unlikely there's any point. There's no plan or purpose or anything like that. I'm thinking for now that humanity doesn't really amount to much. Now we think a lot of ourselves, but it's possible that the universe doesn't think very much of us. And I'm thinking how, for example, we destroy an ant's nest to build a house, whatever. We see an ant's nest is in our way, and so we destroy it in order to lay down some bricks. So we obviously don't rate the ant's nest very highly. Not important. I'm thinking maybe humanity is the same kind of thing, and aliens might dispose of us one day because we're in the way or whatever. So the ant's nest must think is very important, but we don't think it's very important, so we destroy it without a second thought. And the same thing might apply to humanity. Humanity thinks it's important, but it doesn't mean that we are important to other entities out there. So I'm wondering what they think of where humanity rates in terms of importance in the universe. And it is so hard to come to any judgment because there's nothing to compare humanity to. We haven't discovered any other species. How can we ever know the importance of humanity? Maybe it is just plain impossible. And even meeting another civilization out there, that doesn't improve our knowledge of our importance very much. So humanity obviously thinks it's very important, but that doesn't mean that it is important. It just means we think we are. And as I say, we destroy an ant's nest without a second thought, even though the ant's nest must think is very important. It's so frustrating that we can never have any answers. There's simply, it seems, no way to know what's true. You can only construct plausible theories. about how things are. It is deeply frustrating. And humanity has worked hard to try and discover things and establish truth. But it seems our capability to do that is limited. So it seems we're just here being alive for a period of time, then we die for no reason. There doesn't seem to be any purpose to anything. And it seems that we can never find what any purpose might be. We can only imagine possibilities. It is deeply frustrating. I'm 49 years old, so I'm thinking my natural death will probably happen in the next 40 years or so. I don't know what the average lifespan is or whatever. So it is strange to know that I will pass away at some point because I've got kind of used to being alive. It's so strange to think that it will just end, it will plain stop one day. So I'm thinking, what else am I gonna do in life? I've had 2 children, so I've done the main thing to be doing in life, I suppose you describe it as. So I have contributed to society. I should be raising my children, but I'm not able to do that in the current circumstances. But it is difficult to know what comes next in my life. At the moment, I'm just treading water, surviving. So how do I find something to be doing? It is a real mystery. It could be that life is just surviving. And it could be that there is no purpose. And as frustrating as that may be just the way it is, and that's the end of it. I suppose there doesn't need to be a purpose after all. Although I do think that what seems to be the effort of making life work, it seems to be an effort. And that's what leads to thoughts of there being some sort of plan. But maybe it isn't an effort. Maybe it's just something that happens and that's the end of it. So we think a lot of ourselves as humanity, but it is possible that the universe doesn't think very much of us. It's so hard to ever know where humanity fits in the scheme of things. So I don't know whether to judge humanity as being important or not. Are we significant, or are we just like grains of sand on a beach or whatever? And then I'm wondering if there are other species out there. And it seems to me that in an infinite universe, there has to be. But because of the infinite size of the universe, the likelihood of ever meeting these aliens is remote, very unlikely. But as to whether they exist, that is, it's got to be almost certain. Humanity can't be so special as to be the only life in the universe. That seems definite, even though it's impossible to know. It is so frustrating that there can never, it seems, be any answers to so many questions. So we are just here living, and that's the end of it. We can't know anything more. We just live for the sake of living, and that's the end of it.